82 to 84. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Join Gary and Don Crawford of Pinnacle Retirement Advisors for Retirement with Pinnacle, Saturday mornings at 9 to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Don't miss Retirement with Pinnacle with Gary and Don Crawford, Saturday mornings at 9. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
This hour of Ocala Talks is brought to you in part by Blockers Furniture. Go see all their specials at blockersfurniture.com.
Auto repair with personal care. We know what we're talking about. Matt Gibbs and the guys over at SonRise Automotive will treat you right. We'll treat you.
That's right. It's auto repair with personal care with SonRise Auto. Matt Gibbs, the proprietor of SonRise Auto, the team leader, the big Samoan.
The big cheese.
He is in the building. Matt, good morning.
Morning.
I got to ask a question that Sonny posed yesterday, and Sonny, I'm sure, will call the show once he hears your answer. But it was a very good question that I didn't know the answer to, and I thought, well, we'll ask Matt. We're talking about electric cars yesterday.
Okay.
And how, I think that the reason gas prices are where they are has very little to do with the price of oil and everything. It has to do with the Biden administration wanting to drive us towards electric cars and away from fossil fuel-driven cars.
Right, okay.
And Sonny goes, okay. Sonny called and said, okay, let's say we go to electric cars. Within 35, every household has an electric car. That's 200 million households in America. They shut the grid down right now when there's too many air conditioners running. Are we going to be able to handle 200 million electric cars?
I don't know. Time will tell.
But nobody's asked that question.
No. Yeah.
I've not heard that question posed by anyone. Sonny posed it, and I'm sure people have asked it, but, they have talked about how much these cars pull and electrical, how much is it a 220 like your dryer? Is it going to add $5 extra a month to your electric bill, or will it be like a gas charge? I spend about $600 a month in gas. Is it going to be $600 a month in electricity that I'm charged?
Right. And those are great questions. One of the questions that I've had is, okay, so a lot of our roadways and our infrastructure of our communities, cities, and towns and whatnot, that comes from where? It comes from the gas tax.
Right.
So what's going to happen when we don't have gas?
Are we going to start taxing electricity?
Exactly. That money's got to come from somewhere. So if we're not getting it, paying for it at the pump. And, the beauty of it is, and this is a beauty because we're Floridians, is that we have so many tourists that come in. And
that helps us.
That helps us hugely.
Right. Yeah.
And so my deal is I was driving down the road the other day, and we were going on a trip. We were going to somewhere. I think me and my wife might have been going to the airport or something, and I saw a Tesla driving down the road, and it was from North Michigan or something like that. And I'm thinking, okay, well, there's a Tesla driving around in Florida.
How many times did he have to stop to get here?
He made it here, So. But there again, it's like, okay, but now this guy's using our roadways, and he's not getting.
He's not paying any taxes.
No, it's kind of like that commercial. No gas, no
squeegee. Exactly. No gas, no squeegee.
Right? So no gas, no squeegee. No.
And if he was at a hotel or something in town, he's plugged into their electricity. He's not paying any electrical charge or anything.
Right, exactly.
And when you find out, like the sales tax, the penny sales tax they did here in the county,
right.
30% of that is paid by people that don't live in this county.
Right.
Well, if I'm an electric car, I ain't getting gas. I'm not paying that penny.
That's right. So back in late 90s, so 99, 2000, when we were going to the Y2K thing,
right.
And everybody was freaking out about all that kind of stuff. So I went and converted a bunch of gasoline generators to run on propane.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a company down in Clearwater called Motor Fuelers. They also do classes on becoming certified for alternative fuels. So I went down there and I wanted to learn about it. It's kind of like a little hobby of mine anyway.
Right.
And so I became certified in alternative fuels. And even back then in 2000, what the big battle was, there was a battle within our government. So you got this side of the government. That's, so here's the Democratic and Republican side or whatever, however you want to call it. But in this particular arena, you have one side that is all green. They're fighting and pushing for the battery, alternative fuel, because if you can get a car to run on propane, if you dial it in good, it's basically carbon dioxide coming out the exhaust.
That's all it is.
That's all it is. And then, so if you can, and then the other side of it is the oil side, and they're battling. And the oil side is saying to the propane side or the alternative fuel side, well, we have mandates. We have to have certain fuel economies. We have to have certain pollution controls. We have to have certain gas mileage.
But you don't have that issue with propane.
And right, but they're saying that there is emissions, but there's nothing regulating those emissions. So we have all these laws for us, but there's no laws for these guys.
If you set it in right, I know propane produces carbon dioxide, and that's what the trees need to grow.
That's right. So there's a very low carbon. There's a carbon print
but very low.
It's much lower,
right.
and it comes with its own.
Compressed natural gas is not a bad fuel to drive around.
The only problem with compressed natural gas, other from propane, is you could have. I'm not lying to you. You could have a tank the size of this table, and this is a good size table.
Yeah.
And it's only equivalent to like 20 gallons.
Right, exactly.
So it's like, where do you put this monster of a thing?
Right.
That was one of the issues there.
You could put a 13-gallon propane tank on the back of a forklift.
Exactly. and so you could put a 20-gallon tank of propane in a car, but stop and think. If your car gets 20 miles to the gallon, if it's running on propane, it's probably going to get about 15 miles.
Well, I got a buddy of mine up in Georgia. He's a farmer up there, and he farms for DeFair Farms. It's wonderful. He's part owner of that. He turned all his trucks, not his farm equipment, but his trucks. His farm trucks. They all run on biodiesel. Cooking oil.
Right.
And he went and made an agreement with all the fast food joints in Statesboro, Georgia, and he gets their oil there, and he's been doing this for 15 years.
Yeah. And I've even done that. I
cost him about $5,000 a vehicle to convert.
And I've done that. I did that on a Mercedes he was actually a plastic surgeon out of Fort Lauderdale, and he bought a Mercedes for me to do that too. And we did it, and it worked great. It kind of makes you hungry, when you smell that oil burning.
Right, but we're a country of obesity, so we got plenty of fast food oil.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the fast food oils like McDonald's and Burger King's, you can't use their oil because it's hydrated oil.
Oh, it is.
So you have to. The mom and pop stores are the ones that we were really getting the oil from. And the reason we did his Mercedes was he wanted to convert his yacht. He had a yacht with 2 diesel engines on his boat, and so I get all done doing this Mercedes, and now he's wanting me to fly down there and live on his boat and do his yacht. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. But I think he ended up finding someone to go down and do it. But I did it, and it does work. And then at the end of the day, I found out this: you really don't even have to do anything.
Here's what's going to happen with these electric cars. I'm telling you, eventually, this is what's going to happen. Some brilliant person like Elon Musk or somebody along that ilk in the next 40 or 50 years, they're going to figure out how to recharge those batteries just by the car moving.
Yes.
And then you're really going to be in a mess because then they ain't going to have to pay nothing.
Right.
They won't need electricity or anything. They'll need a battery to crank it. And then as the car moves, because we have perpetual motion watches now.
There's no, you don't need a battery to crank it because there's nothing to crank.
Right. But right now, perpetual watches and all, they have watches that as long as you're moving and your arm's swinging, the watch stays wound and charged.
I got several of them.
Right. It's only a matter of time before gravitational pull of just a car moving forward is going to be able to charge batteries.
Yeah, they're gonna do the technology. They're going to. We're a smart group of people.
Yes.
You know, the technology.
To be as dumb as we are, we're a smart group
Yep,
of people.
exactly. We are really dumb in some areas, but then we're brilliant in others. And in my business, I have to deal with it every single day, because like a 2021 car, it could have been manufactured in April of 21, okay, and then in August of 21, there's a whole new set of parameter. There's a whole new set of computer stuff. There's a whole new something already done on that car.
Now, a lot of hybrids are coming out. The Ford F-150 has been introduced as a hybrid where it runs on battery and gasoline.
Yep.
2035 is when there's the target date for a lot of these companies to go full electric.
Full electric. Yep.
What's going to happen to a guy that's got, in 2035, a guy that's got a 2022 or 2021 Cadillac?
Well,
or he's got a 2021 Camaro or something. Well, what's going to happen to those guys?
So what's going to happen? Just like when we switched over from R12 refrigerant to the 134, and now we've switched over from 134 to 1234 YF. It's just going to fix itself, kind of thing. So back in the day, we were doing these,
like when we went from leaded gas to unleaded gas.
Exactly. We're just
we went from unleaded gas to 10% ethanol.
Exactly. We make these transitions.
Although ethanol now there's 4 scientific studies, 2 by the University of Iowa, which is a corn place, by the way.
Yep.
2 by the University of Iowa, 1 by the University of Minnesota, and 1 by MIT, that shows ethanol gas is a bigger carbon footprint than regular gas. How about that?
It doesn't surprise me, not at all. I don't even know if they did the ethanol. Did they do it because of the carbon footprint?
No, they wanted to see. They were trying to do it. It all started to prove how clean ethanol burned, and all 4 studies showed ethanol burned dirtier than regular gasoline.
And that it just doesn't surprise me at all.
And hey, look, figure out how to grab methane with all the dumps and everything we got around here.
Well, that's actually
with all the cow pastures we got around
we
here.
We can compress methane and use it as same as like natural,
right?
Compressed natural.
And
gas.
with the cow farms and everything, got plenty of methane.
Yeah, yep.
You know,
well, if you go over to Ocala and look at their plant and look what the methane is operating combustible engines.
Yes, it is.
to move the generators to sell the electric to Gainesville.
Yep.
Right here in Ocala.
There's a reason those methane gas tubes are coming out of the dump and everything. You know, they're harnessing it. It's just, and for people to say that it's fossil fuels non-renewable, I don't believe that. I believe with the way things rotten and get back into the earth and everything, it's not non-renewable. It's renewable fuel.
I have learned this. I mean, just watch what you remember the big oil leak with BP under
the horizon.
And okay, yeah, and so you've watched them do all this cleanup, and it costs BP billions of dollars and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, the earth cleaned itself. You understand? There was stuff that they couldn't get to.
No, they skimmed what they could get to, but the ocean cleaned itself.
Because it came from the earth.
Yeah, the ocean cleaned itself.
It does, and I think the earth cleans itself.
Yeah. Good morning, you're on with Matt Gibbs.
Good morning, Tom. Matt.
Good morning, Sonny.
I'd like to say with the tires and stuff that you installed on my Mercury Sable, that's even better than on the Vibe. The Sable was quiet before, but now it's super quiet.
There you go. And
smooth riding. I really thank you for those tires.
Yes, no problem,
I think that they outshine a lot of the name brands by far. And I would highly recommend anybody to go get if you need tires, go to Matt, and he'll fix you up. I was also surprised that, I thought they would be a lot more expensive than they were because of the inflation. But yet the big inflation shocker was when I went to the box store for gardening stuff. So, anyway, again, I appreciate you being there, Matt, and I appreciate all the help you you and your staff give me when I have questions. And so far, I'm a real happy camper.
All right, awesome.
Thanks for the call, Sonny.
Yep, have a good day.
You too.
Yeah, sometimes I had my dad, was a mechanic, and he would say things like, and I worked for a milk distribution place up in Jacksonville when I was 18. It was a job I got. My mom got it for me, and I hated every minute of it because I don't, that kind of shift work and all is not for me. But I did it. But I was amazed as an 18-year-old, because you don't think about these things as an 18-year-old, that we would stop the line to switch out milk jugs. Not milk. You'd switch out milk jugs from Gustafson to T.G. Lee to Publix to Winn-Dixie. It's all the same milk, just going to different containers. And then my dad said, son, tires the same way. It's all the same rubber. It's pretty much made in one factory will make 6 or 7 different brands, and they just stamp this brand on one tire, this brand on another tire, because rubber, there are some subtle differences, but when you think about tires, you don't always have to go buy the tire that's $350 for each tire.
Right. And that's we have little nicknames for different tires and stuff, And these tires, they're called Milestar. They actually we service Hires Baxley Funeral Home. We've been servicing their cars for a long time, and they actually when they wanted us to service their cars, they came to us and said, hey, when you guys can you get these tires, these Milestar tires?
The Milestar Cruisers.
And I said, I don't know. I did a little research. Yeah, I can get them. And
Milestar Cruisers.
And this is what we want on our fleet of cars. And I'm like, okay.
You know who makes Milestar, but
and so we started using them because they asked for them, and one of the ways that I can tell the quality of a tire, the easiest way for me to tell it is when I mount it on the wheel and then put it on the balancer. If the thing needs 8 ounces of weight,
it's not a very good tire.
It's not a very good tire. These tires don't
If it needs a quarter ounce of weight,
we know it's a
pretty good tire.
Pretty good tire. So because of the funeral home, because of Hires Baxley, they kind of taught us this is a good quality tire, and I like to sell it. I put it on my kids' cars. I put it on my cars.
It's on my Cadillac right now.
And it's they
and I didn't get them from you.
No.
But it's on my Cadillac right now because I knew Milestar was a good cruising tire.
Yeah.
For a lot less.
Yeah.
Than the big names will sell it for.
You can buy like 3 tires to 1.
So exactly, you can. When I was shopping for tires 3 years ago, I went and talked to some of the big stores and everything, and they all were in the $900 to $1,000 range to put 4 tires on my car. I put 4 Milestars on my car for $550 bucks.
And right now they are more now than they've been.
Of course they were, but this was 3-4 years ago.
Well, and with this stupid inflation thing, so now because of what we're dealing with as far as inflation and whatnot, we're really paying attention because we're still trying to give the best deal that we can give and still give the quality stuff. And just like we were talking before, when Carol Ann was here in the studio, we were talking on a break, and my son came to me and said, Dad, we got to change the prices of oil changes. And
you go, hold on. Our oil changes are oil change. Why are we changing prices?
Yeah.
Well, because you were losing money.
I was losing money on an oil change.
Yeah, you come in to get an oil change, you'd pay Matt. Matt still had to pay more.
Yeah, I had to pay more, and that's the honest to God's truth, because we buy oil in bulk. We just write the check, and we're not really paying attention to, the average car taking 5.5 quarts of oil, and I charge X amount of dollars, whether it takes 5 quarts or 6 quarts. I don't add the extra quarts.
Some of these trucks take 9 quarts.
Yeah, and now those we have to charge a little bit different. But for the majority of, and I'm because of the price of oil has gone up like 4 or 5 times in the last 3-4 months. People don't understand.
Oh, wait. It just went up again just now.
Yeah, people don't understand when the gas prices go up. Guess where gas comes from? It comes from oil. So when the gas prices are going up, then so is oil prices.
Don't get me started on the refining of gas, and the residual of that is diesel fuel.
Yeah.
And somehow the garbage costs more than the gas does.
Isn't that crazy?
You don't do anything to diesel fuel. You refine the oil and extract the gas out of it. The leftover costs more.
Byproduct.
Yeah. The byproduct of making gasoline costs more than the gasoline itself at the pump. That makes zero sense to me.
Now, I will say this, in defending of the diesel fuel, today's diesel fuel is not the same as
No, because they put detergent in it and stuff.
It's got to be low sulfur.
Right.
That's got to be more emissions related.
But they don't do near the working on it they do to refine gasoline.
No, absolutely
because it's the byproduct of the refining of gasoline.
That's right. That's right.
You know, think about how much back in the day, and I mean, you probably you're my age, so you never were able to do it. But I remember back in the day, in the 70s, early 70s, my dad's disposal of oil was out back behind the service station.
No, we used to do that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He had a rocky area back behind the service station, and that's where the oil went.
Yeah.
Think about how much oil that could now they reuse and everything that just went to nothing. And somebody goes, "Well, you were poisoning the earth." And my dad's exact words were, "Where the hell did you think the oil came from?"
I know.
He would tell people that all the time. What do you mean? Well, where the hell do you think the oil came from? Well, they drilled it out of the exactly. That was my dad's justification. Everybody say, "Smitty, you're gonna hurt the planet pouring that in the ground right here." My dad goes, "Where the hell did you think it came from?"
There's a place on 27, not too far from SonRise Automotive, that for years was a transmission shop for years, and for years it had transmission fluid dumped out back for years, and the guy that bought it, so the EPA comes in and they're gonna check the soil. Well, it's contaminated, so that place sat vacant
Right.
for 20 years.
I remember one of my favorite things was about one Saturday, about every 3 or 4 months, we'd go out to one of my daddy's good buddies' house because he lived on like 40 acres out in Green Cove Springs.
Yep.
And we'd take a trailer, and we'd go because we were going to the bonfire. And you know what we were burning? Tires.
Oh Lord! And once that gets going,
we go out there, and this was the 70s. There was no regulation, and the kids thought, man, we would end up black as smut though, because that soot and all from those tires.
That was some
But
nasty.
I mean, there'd be 3-4 service stations that bring their tires out there. This man's, and he'd charge $20 a trailer to burn the tire, and they just take some kerosene, pour it on there, and boom. Tires were gone.
And when they catch on fire, there ain't no putting that stuff out. You let that sucker
He
burn.
had 2 front end loaders out there that he dug a big hole in the ground, and boom, gone.
Man,
But it was done different back then.
Yeah, it was done different. Now we got to catch everything.
Yeah, it was done different back
We don't even let Freon out. You know?
But my dad always made that point. When Smitty, you pouring that oil right in the dirt. He goes, "Where the hell did oil come from?"
Yep.
Out of that dirt. Remember when Jed was shooting at some food up
Yeah.
through the ground came bubbling crude.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Black gold.
Texas tea.
Yes, sir. I remember.
So I know the EPA's got a job doing everything, but I mean it came from the dirt. That's all I'm saying. It came from the dirt. Don't have to worry about me though. I can't change my own oil, so it doesn't go to the dirt when I'm doing it.
So I got to pay. So now I got to pay to have all that hauled
Oh
off.
yeah, to have it all hauled off. I know you do.
I gotta
Tires,
pay. Tires.
batteries,
Tires. Not only do I have to pay to have it hauled off, but I got to pay tax.
starters, alternators, all that.
All that.
Matt, where can people find you?
You can call me at 352-690-1993 or come by and see us at 1800 Northwest 10th Street, right here in Ocala.
Ocala, Florida. SonRise Auto repair with personal care from SonRise Auto. Matt's here every Tuesday. Matt, we'll talk to you next week.
Yes, sir.
Coming up now, we'll have some updates on some road closures around Ocala. I know that Fort King is closed, folks. I'll tell you where it's closed at next, right here on The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
A miles-long Russian armored convoy nearing Kyiv on Tuesday, as well as heavy shelling of Ukraine's second-largest city, Kharkiv, has brought death and destruction to civilians and soldiers on both sides of the conflict. Peace talks on Monday were fruitless. Ned Price from the State Department lectern.
As the people of Ukraine continue to fight with courage and pride for their country, we will continue to provide them the assistance that they need.
A $350 million defense package was approved over the weekend for Ukrainian resistance fighters. More than 500,000 Ukrainian refugees have arrived in neighboring countries since Russia attacked. The U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee early on Tuesday called for a complete ban on international sport participation for Russian and Belarusian athletes and officials over the invasion of Ukraine. President Biden will give his State of the Union address at 9 p.m. Eastern tonight as lawmakers once again raise fencing around the Capitol. USA Radio News.
No matter if supply lines are down, product deliveries are slow, and that most everything costs more these days, you still have neck and shoulder pain, right? Good news. Sunny Bay has new products that target neck and shoulder pain. Products that are in stock now, ready to ship anywhere now. Like our extra long neck heating pads. They provide soothing relief to painful sore necks and backs. You can heat them in a microwave oven, and they come in a variety of colors and patterns. And for stress relief, get our lavender scented hands-free neck wraps. Or maybe you need one of our smaller lower back wraps. Great for seniors. Again, there's no shipping delays from Sunny Bay. Find our new products on Amazon, Walmart, Etsy, and sunny-bay.com. Just search for Sunny Bay Neck Wraps. All our products are great for men or women, are reusable, and easy to clean. Remember, just search for Sunny Bay Neck Wraps. Order now because stock is high and shipping is fast. From Sunny Bay.
Are you a veteran living in Florida? Do you want to earn while you learn? Call 954-434-8220 or visit our website at nsied.org now. Are you a veteran living in Florida who wants training in farming, ranching, and allied services? Are you a veteran living in Florida who wants help with job placement? Call 954-434-8220. North-South Institute Veteran Training Program is a mix of online and hands-on in-person training designed for you to earn while you